Hello, 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 guys. Happy Monday. Welcome back to typically live card readings, which is going to be a card reading today, or sometimes intuitive reading if I decide to do a book. So today, like I mentioned, I'm going to be doing the Witches with them. This is one of my favorite decks, and I am a little bit like excited, but at the same time, I'm like, what do you have for me today? But before we get into that, Yana Kasperczak, Spiritual Awakening Core Energy Coach, coming into you from Ontario as I'm recording it. And I will not be in Ontario when you see this. So, don't tell anyone. As if it's a state secret. Okay, so let's get right into the reading, as these cards are already not letting me speak because they want me to take them out and use their own words. Okay, so what will be today's Monday? How about I'm gonna take a peek at the calendar. Oh, air conditioning is on. That's great because the basement is already so cold. Good thing I got my blanket. Okay, so let me have it open. So the following one will be the 10th, and then we have the 17th. So will be today is the 10th. Coming to you from the past and predicting your future. Interesting, eh? And yes, it happens in the present for you. And for me, it was in the past, and yet not yet in the future. So on this 10th, so on the 10th of July, where are you at? What are you going through? A lot. You're going through a lot. I'm telling you. Hey, you want to unburden? We can chat. Even just unburdening, having conversation. You can't go wrong by having a conversation with someone who is inviting you to have a conversation, who's open to it. So, and there's a lot there. Um, Death, by the way, does not mean just actual death. It's life and rebirth. So you have a lot going on, clearly. Um, if you watch my previous video where I was talking about support, call in that support, which is your ancestors, your angels, your spirit guides, whoever or whatever label you want to give that energy or those energy, which is essentially just one energy that's split into many. But one card for today, and this is it. Now that you took my advice that I just mentioned, because you're such a good girl, I bet you that's triggering. Because a lot of us were raised to be good girls, and if it's not triggering, in a way, it should be, and yet it shouldn't be. It should be so that way we can be triggered by things that are that good girl that is not us, so we feel triggered, and then that means, ooh, I got some work to do. Let me go into my dungeon. Familiar guardian. Interesting. Let me go into my dungeon and process everything. So let's see what this familiar guardian. I wish I had. Oh, I don't know if it's gonna fit into my pocket. Gonna kitty in my pocket. Familiar. So I haven't used this card, this deck in a little bit, and that's why it was not letting me speak because it was ready. It was ready to speak. I just saw it. There we go. Familiar guardian. You know what? I'll sit a little bit closer. I'm like deep in this chair. There, I'll sit. There you go. So much better. I can hold my book up and look a little closer to the camera, so it's at least a little bit more closer to what it would be on my phone. Okay, familiar guardian, a bark, meow, squawk, or song. Look who appears, 'tis never wrong. Lighten your load, fall to your side, your new best friend, your familiar guide. This magic is worked with harm to none, so mote it be. There, it is done. So, familiar guide, I sense it is your spirit animal. And I know some of you are connected with your spirit animal, some of you are not, and you're not familiar. If you're not familiar with how to identify what the spirit animal is, watch the previous video that I did on the third of July, where I was talking about your intuition. You gotta allow your intuition in. You gotta allow your intuition to guide you and let you know what you what kind of animal your spirit guide is, and keeping in mind that it's also very possible that it could be more than just one, because we're not just one person, right? We continue to change and evolve, which also means that the animal spirit guide can also change, and which also means that, continue with the previous video, for me it's only a couple of minutes. For you, possibly a week, unless you're watching them all at once, right? Is when I was talking about connecting with your spirit guide, talking with your spirit guide. You can do the same thing with your spirit animals. They show up all the time. They're always there. For me, it's a cat. So the kitty here, I got a cat at home, and my cat likes to show up in the times when it's like, oh my God, really? How did you know? How did you know? So let's get into the reading. A familiar has turned up to assure you that you are never alone, just like spirit guides, just like uh, this is where the spirit guides often actually do speak to us through animals, through familiars, through our spirit animals. And when they do that, this is where we know it's like, okay, I hear you, I get you. And sometimes it's not even those people that have passed; it's those people that we know. So for me, for example, when I see rabbits, when we also know it's not just our spirit animal, that's somebody else's spirit animal, and we typically, let's say, don't see them often, and all of a sudden they just show up. And for me, when I see a rabbit, I think of Bethany. When I see a black cat, I instantly think of all the fears that were pumped into humans to start conditioning us to colors, even. But essentially to gain control and say that this is bad, this is good. And at the same time, I don't believe that black cats contain or have different kind of energy. They're just cats. They're just a different color, different shape. Um, but like any cat or any soul that is living on this planet, they offer different gifts, and different personalities, different quirks, different experiences. Um, where was I? Okay, for whether your path is an easy one or struggle right now, you have a very real guardian and helper that is waiting to be called upon through the ether. Once you have asked for assistance in your magical work, use your diligence to be aware of the form that your assistance takes. So the help that you get might not always come in the same shape and form that you actually want it to be. It can come in the way that you need it to be, which sometimes might actually mean you might have to do a little bit of work, a little bit of preparation in order for you to be able to use that tool, in order for you to reach the next level in this game called life and overcome yourself. because this is what we're here for. We're here to overcome ourselves, not our life, not our problems, because none of them exist. They only exist in our mind, which means that we can only overcome ourselves, which means overcoming our mind. And that's what we're all here for. Where was I there? Once you have asked for assistance in your magical work, use your diligence to be aware of the form that your assistance takes. You may notice a cat hanging around your back door, or you may be greeted by the tapping of a bird on your window. When I was curious about what my spirit animal was, because I was so doubtful that I asked my guides, my spirit guides, my angels to show me a sign that cannot be ignored. I want to know once and for all what my spirit animal is. And the way that I got the response was the next morning, I go to our backyard, and it was early November or late October, and it was just a little bit of snow that fell down, and all I could see was tiny little paw prints that went to the door and then back down. And as I'm looking at these paw prints, I'm like, these are cat paw prints. I know cat paw prints. I mean, of course. I probably can differentiate them from some other animals, but in the area where we lived, there was no other wildlife. And having a cat, out of all the times that I look in the backyard every day because I have a dog that I will put out, and seeing the paw prints to me, like that's a sign I could not ignore. And that's why I realized it was a cat. And then I went on a journey trying to see what that means for me and interpret. Then what does that mean, and then what do I go from this point on? And recognizing that there's also even different types of cats. There's domesticated cats and there's not domesticated cats, right? There's stray cats, there's feral cats, there's wild cats. There's so many different types of cats, and it's like, well, when it comes to a cat, I can in a way also choose which cat I want to be and not just stick to one, because a domestic cat is something that I become during winter. Because a domestic cat does not want to go outside where it's cold. Why would they want to go outside when it's cold, when it's nice and warm inside? I don't want to go outside when it's so cold. Now, part of me does, and that part is like, well, it'd be so fun to go and do this and this and that, but it's like, I don't have this, I don't have that, which is also excuses, I know, which brings me down to reality, grounds me, and allows me to dream in a different way. The way that, okay, so that was great. I went on that trip, that was fun. Now what? So now, what we'll do is we'll get back to this. Okay, your guardian may work with you through the form of a spirit animal guide. Look to an animal that you have always felt affinity with. Notice the representation of animals, including mythical and mystical, that you may have within your home. Look around. Through books, through painting, through figurines, or prints. For they will reveal to you the familiar who has accompanied you through the mists of time and will never leave your side, not even for a moment. So having read this is where, for me, it confirms, and I'm curious to hear for you if it confirms or if you know any better, because I feel like we're not really limited to just one. That's what I was starting to say earlier. That we're not just limited to one spirit animal, that it is more often than not more than two or three, but not not too many. It's like with some of them that we kind of maybe find relatable. For me, it's a dog and a cat. maybe because they're always been there around, and it's kind of like part of the programming conditioner where I understand them on such levels that I see myself in them as well. And then if we start spending our time with other animals, we would start seeing them that way as well. So and that doesn't necessarily mean how we identify our spirit animals, spirit guides. Huh, interesting thought. As you can tell, I'll be pondering this one for a little bit and seeing where this leads me. Okay, so let's keep going with the rest of it, which is foresight. Do not be afraid to ask for assistance. Don't be afraid to ask for help. It does not mean that you're weak. Asking for help does not mean that you're weak, and accepting help does not mean you're weak either. Both mean that you're strong. Both involve being brave, being confident, doing something uncomfortable, perhaps doing something different. So never think of yourself as weak, because if you do believe yourself to be weak, then you will also become weak. We become what we believe, just like we become what we eat, just like we become what we listen to, just like we will become who we spend our time with. We become the very thing that is around us all the time, that we are exposed to. So if at work, let's say, everyone is negative, you will become negative and you won't even notice it. You won't even notice it. Just like if you start working on yourself and you start overcoming yourself, because that's what you do every day, you work on yourself. You do the best that you can, whether you're doing it on your own, whether you hire assistance, whether you ask for assistance, whether you find assistance, that you continue to overcome yourself. And in overcoming yourself is where you start to gain all the freedoms that you have been seeking, all the freedoms that you've been wanting. You have a strong bond with a trusted animal. Call upon your familiar. Look for signs in the animals that come into contact with you. Study the meanings of different animal medicine energy. Help is at hand. So I love looking into the meaning of experiences, which also experiences involve things. So a cat, for example, you see a black cat and right away I would be curious to know the history of, essentially where that came from, where he scared a black cat and let's burn all the black cats. And at the same time, I know I don't want to spend my time doing that because all of our time on here is limited. So how I spend my time with myself, how I spend, or what I spend my time on is actually going to either bring me closer to who I would love to be or closer to who I don't want to be. And that means choosing every single day. And at the same time, understanding that our experiences are also not limiting us, that our past stories and knowledge is like of a cat, they're not, they're meant to limit us, but when we start to dissect and understand that there is no merit to it, there's no truth to it. It is just mumbo jumbo. It is just a rumor. That's what it is. If someone said, Helen got her period during lunch break while they put ketchup on her chair and she was wearing white pants. You've seen like Mean Girls and like movies like that where some girls have even experienced it. I personally have not, or have, if I seen it, it might have been one of those things they just block out because it's so traumatizing to witness something like that. But that's something like a rumor that starts as a rumor, and then guess what? For some people, they can carry that on, carry that on. A lot of people alone, they'll forget, but it just takes a few people to carry that on and to spread it to then teach people to be scared of black cats. to not like black cat. Whereas, what if the opposite is the truth? What if a black cat is the most powerful cat that you can have? And for me, I believe it could possibly be so because cutting the nails of a black cat is so much more nerve wracking than cutting the nails of white sock cats, where the nails are white and you can see right through them. You can see where the nail begins and ends. Whereas with a black cat, you do not see that. So cutting those nails, that's where I'm like, I would love a black cat, but you know what? You need some white socks so I can cut the nails. We all have our preferences, and I recognize that it was just something that naturally started to happen, where all of our animals would have white feet or white ends, where with my dog having one dark nail, it's like I caught myself feeling really anxious and very stressed cutting nails, and I know exactly why, because deep down there's a story which is based on experience. How we had to cut our one of our dog's nails, and how he was just howl and scream, and how inhumane sometimes the process was or felt like it was. That is just it create none of us want to hurt anyone, and that's where it comes from. Is not wanting to hurt those that we love, even though it's momentary of a nail that we ourselves have done. But even if we're cutting our own nails, we don't want to hurt ourselves because we know that can hurt for a few days. For animals, the same. So that's why I'm like, I would love a black cat, but I will need to grow a little bit in order for me to feel comfortable cutting the nails of a kitty cat that is dark and being okay, possibly hurting it. Okay, so the next deck I'm going to do before I say the goodbyes for the following Monday, which will be the 17th, is going to be abundance. So this one I believe is just short and quick and straight to the point. And I will do a couple of cards of this one because it's so good. I've done this one before. So thank you very much for listening, for watching. And once again, this community is so much fun when we have our friends as part of it. I have my friends here, and I would love for you to have your friends here so we can share our friends and we can come together as a community and as one community, as one unit, and help one another to thrive and grow and become better today than we were yesterday, and allow ourselves to feel valued, accepted, and appreciated and supported when we do fall from grace, because we all do. Every single day, each one of us falls from grace, which means that we do something that we kind of wish we didn't, or wish we did something else instead. Spending our time doing this instead of that, right? The shoulds, the coulds, the would the must, the have tos, and then so many other things in between. And what I'm saying is, I don't know if it's going to be a giveaway at this point. If there is a giveaway, I feel like there's always going to be a giveaway. I'm more than happy to send some stickers to you guys who invite people to the group to help grow this community. And yeah, because I'm going to be sending, I think I decided on 15 stickers. Don't quote me on it because I'm worried I might run out of them quickly. Okay, I'm just so excited to order more because I love stickers. I find them, for me, they're so motivating to get something done. Like I get something done, I can put a sticker, give me the sticker, and then sharing things that I enjoy, that you can enjoy. We can enjoy together. We can even share. We can even have sticker days or sticker posts where we all share our stickers every day. What sticker do we use today? What sticker do we use tomorrow? And so on and on, right? Monday stickers, Tuesday stickers, Wednesday stickers. We can have fun in any way that we want to here, really. And if you like this idea, then you can comment down below and say, yes, let's do that idea. That's a great idea. Let's do sticker dates. Like whether specific Mondays will be all the Mondays of stickers we can put in one post and just recycle the same post, right? Or do you want a new post every Monday? Because if we do one post for Mondays, just imagine having like an infinite scroll of all the Monday stickers that all of us have used on not just particular Monday, but on Mondays, period, right? So it's like also par- partially accountability. You know what? I think this is how I want to end today's video. What is the one thing that you struggle with and would benefit from having accountability with? That would be interesting to hear. I would love to hear that answer to that question. Other than that, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I'm going to go and record the last video of the card readings. And like I said, it's going to be with this deck. Other than that, I will see you guys all in one of our other events, which is now a really quick reminder. Mondays, we have the card reading, intuitive guidance reading, or intuitive reading with me at 11:30. And this is how I'm going to do it today. I'm going to do it just by the hour. So the way it's the same hours, but different days. Monday and Thursday at 11:30. So twice a week, I'll go live, Monday and Thursday. And on Mondays, I do the intuitive guidance, intuitive card reading. And on Thursdays, I do Get Your Shit Together, weekly live guidance with Yana Kasperczak, which is myself, Avi. And so that's that time. On Tuesday, we do Sacred Circle at 10 a.m. until 11 a.m. All the times at Eastern Time. And then Wednesdays, Heal the Unicorn at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Bethany does her mindfulness practice on at 12 p.m. on Wednesday as well. And then there's so much more information and check-ins and updates and posts and check-ins in the group available for everyone. Things that are for you, you respond to them. If they're not for you, just move on to the things that are for you, because we're here to help one another grow with different things, different tools. And one day there might be, one day there may not be. Other than that, that's it. That's all. That's all she wrote. That's all she said. And until next time, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And most importantly, thank you so much for helping us to grow this beautiful community who is coming together to be their best self every single day, no matter what. That's it. Until next time. Bye. And thanks for watching.